Okay, ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. I'm Neil,
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
and this is the 4-on-1. We're covering everything in the football world. Today we have a special guest, a brand new addition.
Big day.
His name's Sean Miranda. He goes to Bishop Hendricken. Junior has been friends with Pat and Michael for a really long time since they were kids, so glad to have him on the show. Sean, where is he? Let's get him on.
We're getting him on right now. So we have a Zoom call. Sean will be joining the Zoom call, and here he is.
Here he
It
is.
is the man
What's up,
himself.
Sean?
Welcome, Sean. How are you?
How's it going? Hey.
So,
Great.
boys, today
Doing
we're going to
good.
be outlining sleepers of the year. So last time we did a breakdown of the AFC East, how we thought the division was going to rack up for next season. This year we're going to do, or this episode, we're going to do sleepers of this year. So who we think the underdog is going to pull through and
I want Sean's take.
Yeah,
Sean,
me too.
take it away.
Absolutely.
me too.
All right. I got my team sleeper of the year going with the Panthers.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
No, 5-11 last season, so not a great year. Had quarterback issues. Kyle Allen, Cam Newton get hurt and benched.
Yep.
But they've signed Teddy Bridgewater, 3 years, $63 million. They got a lot of confidence in him. Matt Rule coming from Baylor, great coach. Did a lot with not a lot of pieces last year. Brought him to the Big 12 championship. Christian McCaffrey, best running back in the league on the team. I mean, I think they could have a Lamar Jackson type offense when you have Christian McCaffrey and Teddy Bridgewater running around.
Okay.
It'd be very
All
exciting.
right, I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
Yeah.
That's a strong statement.
That is very strong.
Lamar Jackson, elaborate a little bit on that.
So last year, the Ravens, elusive in the backfield.
Dominant. Absolutely.
You got Teddy Bridgewater can run, and so can McCaffrey.
A good point. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Mark Ingram's a way better running back. Christian McCaffrey's a way better running back than Mark Ingram.
I think that almost even adds to his point.
Exactly.
Teddy B can. So
I kind of like that point. Sean, you got
Okay.
anything else for us, Sean? Any other teams you think that might break out this year?
I mean, Panthers were my big one. You got a big pick, 7th pick in the draft. Could look for like a CD Lamb, Jerry Judy.
Yep.
That could be a great
Absolutely.
wide receiver, yep.
explosiveness. Yeah. There's some other great teams, though, that could break out this year. That's who I'm going with, though.
Very nice, Sean.
It's
Sean, thank
Sean,
you very much for your
great
input.
This
I
is-
love it.
Love it.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for having me,
coming.
guys.
Appreciate
And
it.
great.
Thank you, Sean.
Hell yeah.
Just so you know, if you guys want to guest star on the 4-on-1, just DM 4-on-1 pod and also give us a follow on TikTok. So
Absolutely.
I gotta say, I kind of want to hop into biggest sleeper of the year first.
Neil, dig in.
May I?
Dig in. Yes.
All right,
I wasn't
have-
able to highlight. Hold on. I wasn't able
I
to
have-
highlight. I have the energy this week. I am so excited.
We
Neil,
always have the energy.
Yes. Take it away, Neil. I'm excited.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
All
Let's
right,
go.
so I have Broncos. I think we've been waiting on this team to be good again for a really long time. I remember back in 2013, 2016, this team was always in playoff contention. When they won in 2015, obviously we talked about it in the last pod, this team was feared. Like, people feared going to Mile High.
And I want to add
playing
to
the
that.
Broncos team.
And I want to add to that, that team was the team to beat. Every single year on the Patriots schedule, Denver Broncos at Mile High. Denver Broncos at Mile. That was it was Patriots Broncos. Now,
it was like the game.
2 years ago, when the Patriots were very, very dominant, it was now it's the Chiefs. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It was always Patriots versus the AFC team. So it was Patriots Colts for a while. You know what I mean? Then it was Patriots Broncos.
Patriots somebody. That's
So it was Patriots Colts, and then it was Patriots Broncos, and then it was Patriots Chiefs. Do you see what I'm saying? They were the dominant team. I agree. Continue.
In that, yeah. So, and then after that, once Peyton Manning dipped, the whole franchise kind of went to shit for a few years. They went, and I don't even think because he didn't play the biggest role in that Super Bowl 50 team, because obviously we know the defense won them that game. But I think, like we were talking about last pod, when Michael was debating, is Cam Newton going to find a home? And I think, despite how talented the quarterback is, he is the leader of the team. And I think, once he kind of left, that leadership kind of depleted, and players were like, all right, where do I go from here? Some players want out. They traded out. Whoa, let me finish.
No, hold on. Let Michael have a point.
I want to go for it. Because you also need to remember the Broncos took on Brock Osweiler's stupid contract.
Yeah.
They were kind of locked into him for a year, and then they had to they couldn't go out and spend big money on a quarterback because
they put all of their eggs in one basket.
It's like Pablo Sandoval for the Red Sox. I mean, they spent like $23 million on him, and he didn't even play for 3 years.
Right.
It was kind of the same thing with him. So I don't think it was Peyton Manning left. They had that hole. I think it was they couldn't replace that. They couldn't because they didn't have the money to do that. And the year after they won the Super Bowl, they signed Von Miller to one of the most expensive contracts in history.
Yeah.
And if you look, they haven't been good since. And when the motto of the podcast, if history repeats, whenever you pay a big name guy big money, it usually doesn't help. Team is a lot different in the NBA when you only have to pay like 7 or 8 guys. Here you have to pay a 53-man roster. I mean, you got to pay all these guys, and if you give some guy like $40 million a year, you're losing a lot of money to get.
And that's why in the NBA, a team can get so good and so bad so quickly. Yeah. In the NFL, you got to.
That's why I don't like the NBA.
Either. That's why you got to build your team. You know what I mean? It takes a while for a team to get good. You got to think of teams rebuilding.
You can't just sign a contract and sign a sick player. It just doesn't work.
Exactly. Even if you sign a sick player, the team is still not going to be good. Teams like the Miami Dolphins, dude, they got to rebuild what they have. You know what I mean? You can't just add a player and then you're set. No. Dude, take the Lakers. Like the Lakers just added LeBron James, now they're sick. Do you know what I mean? Like the NFL.
Well, dude, I'm a basketball fan. I'm a big basketball fan. They added more than just him.
True.
Well,
I'm
just
saying.
They added him, and then people were like, oh, LeBron's there. I want to go there. It's called the LeBron effect. There's like a thing in sports now is the LeBron effect.
That's so true.
No,
couldn't agree more.
For people to get.
You know what? Football.
Yeah,
football.
Let's say on track. So, like I said, they went from being a team that was usually like always a threat in the playoffs, in the playoff picture, to a team who was struggling to get like 8 or 9 wins. And here's why I think they're going to come back this year. So John Elway made a ton of moves this offseason free agency. And I think the best part of this 2020 Broncos team is going to be the run game. Defenses are going to have to plan to defend Philip Lindsay, Royce Freeman, and now Melvin Gordon. So the Broncos are paying Gordon $8 million a year on a 2-year contract. We're going to be seeing a ton of plays this year.
I do.
All right.
I do have something to say. Neil, you got to think about that Melvin Gordon is probably – I see somewhat of a dual threat with Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, but I think Melvin Gordon is going to be taking the majority of the snaps.
He's taking – the Broncos put out a report that he's going to get 60 to 70% of the workload as of week 1. That can fluctuate, obviously, depending on how he performs.
I think it'll fluctuate how well –
he does, just period.
Here's what I'm saying.
Obvious.
So I think we're going to be seeing a ton of plays using both of them at the same time. And how they each produce the first few to the season, I think will determine who gets that running back 1 spot. Because in the past, we've seen like fantasy, Philip Lindsay has been an absurd sleeper because he's been on the Broncos. They're not an awesome team, but he always seems to pump out like 14, 15 points. It's usually in the teens every single week at least last season. Which is why I've always been.
I disagree.
Ever since I started fantasy, I've been a huge Phil Lindsay guy.
He was a bit spotty.
Yeah.
The season before that?
Yeah, we said last year. So he wasn't very good last year. He was a big boomer bust candidate. The year before that, though, he really caught his stride at the end of the year. He was like a top 6 running back in the NFL at that point.
I think Philip Lindsay is still good, first of all. Philip Lindsay is a good player.
It's a great story.
So are you both – you both concur you think Melvin Gordon will take the majority of the snaps going, let's say, 4 weeks in. So they give both of them pretty much equal opportunity. Maybe they give Melvin Gordon a little bit of an edge, but for the most part, you think Melvin Gordon gets the majority of the snaps.
I think you need to think about it like this, too. Eckler and Gordon shared snaps once Melvin Gordon was back.
Yeah,
but not like that.
Mm-hmm. But Lindsay or Gordon, Gordon's not like a crazy pass catcher, or Lindsey's not a crazy pass catcher. They're both run oriented.
They're run.
Probably better than James White when it comes to the receiving game. That guy was filthy. So you have Gordon the runner, Eckler the receiver. I think it was a lot easier in San Diego. Now it's going to be harder in Broncos when you have Royce Freeman.
Not San Diego, LA.
Sorry.
I do it too.
But I just think, and more to your point, who do you think is going to take the snaps? I think Broncos got to get their money worth. You know, they put in $8 million to this guy. I think $8 million into Melvin Gordon, and I don't know what Philip Lindsay's making, but if he was undrafted, he can't be making like starter money. So you got to get your money's worth, because if they say Philip Lindsay at some point gets 75% of the snaps, then what are they going to do with Gordon? You know, that pickup wasn't justified because now he's riding the bench.
For the first time in a while, I think the Denver Broncos will be getting their money's worth, which they haven't seen from Osweiler Miller in a while.
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to it.
I just have one last thing, and then one of you guys can give your stuff. But Broncos also signed tight end Nick Vannett. I think part of the reason behind this, because they already had Noah Fant, so a lot of people were like, why, as Elway, like, why would you do this? I think it was more about needing a tight end with more experience and also a good blocking tight end as well. And I think what you guys were saying, if they can adapt one of their running backs to be more of a receiving tight end, maybe Freeman. I haven't seen too much of him, but maybe Freeman. I think also a lot of double tight end plays as well. Just, no? Thoughts?
I don't know. I just don't think Nick Vannett's a very big signing that's going to really like sway the offense's game plan or really the tendencies of the running backs. I think
that's just what I had implied just from Noah Fant's kind of inexperience. He's shown some promise, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to take a big step this year. I know the whole sophomore slump thing, but I still think he's going to take a big step. I think him and his son, I think, is going to be really good. I love the defense they're bringing in. I think the Broncos –
well, they signed a lot of big – what was his name? AJ something from Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's going to be an amazing quarterback. He's going to replace Chris Harris Jr., I think. I think he's going to be a very solid pick. I'm really excited to see how he plays. Pat?
Are you all set, Neil?
Yeah, I'm good. All you.
It's funny that Sean Miranda said the Carolina Panthers, because I concur with Sean Miranda. I believe that the Carolina Panthers are also my sleeper.
Wow.
The Panthers, so I want to start with this. It's funny because the Panthers have the 14th easiest schedule this season in the NFL, first of all. It's middle of the pack. It's relative. It's not crazy, but it's not the New England Patriots with the hardest schedule. And the Ravens have the easiest schedule. It's ironic
because we usually get a pretty easy schedule.
We had the second easiest last year.
Yeah. Okay. Here's their division. Falcons, led by Matt Ryan. Bucks, led by Tom. Saints, led by Breeze. And Panthers, led by Teddy B.
It's so funny to think they're going to make the playoffs. It's quite comedic.
This is going to be such an interesting
So why did you say it when Sean said it?
Huh?
Why did you say it when Sean said it?
Process it, dude. At first, I thought Kyle Allen was still the quarterback. I forgot about the division entirely.
Let's talk. So I want to say some thoughts about this organization to start. Some first thoughts. This team once saw an MVP in Cam Newton. We talked about it on the last podcast. This team wants to move on. We talked about it in the last podcast. They let go of Newton, who I believe is still capable of being a mediocre and even like a decent quarterback somewhere else. I'm not saying he's going to be a star, but he's going to be okay, right? Getting rid of Ron Rivera told me a lot. That told me that this team wants a fresh start. This team wants to start off a new birth, a new beginning. So let's take a peek at tools, because what's a craftsman without his tools, right? You know what I mean? Let's think. I want to start with the defense. Lackluster, to say the least. This is not a good defense at all. But there's a player who's looking to have a breakout year. It's a rusher, Brian Burns. Burns was the 16th pick in the 2019 NFL draft.
Yeah.
Okay? 7.5 sack, forced fumbles all season. And, of course, one player can't completely make a defense. I'm not saying that. And even with Kuechly even with Keithley retiring, I believe that this guy can emerge as a serious leader. He's a strong player. On top of that, they have the 7th pick in the draft this year, which I assume that it's going to probably be used in some young linebacker or edge.
Hey, Pat, can I cut you off for a second? 1 second.
Go ahead. Yes.
You're saying a lot about how this team is struggling. Keithley retiring, lackluster defense. New coach.
I'm saying that this team
is going to be good.
This team is going to make additions to like this guy Brian Burns. Last year he had a good season. He just didn't have the supporting cast, and I think he can be given the supporting cast.
I don't know.
Tell me who have they signed so far that really warrants you to say.
I believe that the NFL draft is going to be the deciding decision on this.
You think a bunch of guys are going to carry this team to the playoffs?
They have the 7th pick. People have done it before, dude. It's been done before. Take Nick Bosa. Dude, sick.
They had a lot more pieces than just Nick Bosa.
An aging Richard Sherman.
Before that. They had 3 drafts before that where they drafted solid starters.
I agree. I agree. I agree that they
was also a freak, dude. You don't draft Nick Bosas all the time.
I agree. I also agree that defense has been building for a while. I'm saying that if any time for this team to turn around, it's now. They're starting a new coaching. I think they might be able to turn it around.
I agree, dude. I can't think of any picks that the Panthers have made that's like, oh, yeah, this was a great pick. But that's like DJ Moore. I can't think of anyone.
They need the pressure inside to get pressure on the quarterbacks because their secondary isn't good. Meaning that what they're going to be focusing on in this draft is getting guys to get the pressure inside. That's what's going to be important.
Okay.
Right?
All right, yeah.
That's what I believe, okay? Next up is the offense, and I want to talk receivers. It's funny you say that. DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, okay? You just mentioned DJ Moore, okay? He's a solid receiver and has kind of emerged as their, like, trusty weapon in the receiving corps, okay? I agree. I think he's better than solid, okay? He's gotten more attention. He's improving with every year. 1,175 yards, the 29th season. Like I said, he's going to improve on that. I believe that. And I think that this leaves Curtis Samuel to have a breakout season next year. This keeps secondaries aware of where DJ Moore is. They're going to double this guy. They're going to be very aware of what's going on with him, that it might leave Samuel in the open. And they might leave Samuel in the dust, and they might use him as the second option, similar to how I think of, like, who's the number 1 receiver in LA? The Rams.
Yeah.
Rams.
Cup.
Robert Woods? I don't –
See how they have that duel? I agree that it's kind of debatable.
Cooks is gone.
Cooks, Woods.
Cooks
is gone.
They just copy. Yeah, you're right. All right.
So you know how sometimes Robert Woods has just like sick games, like sick fantasy points? It's because they're concerned about Kupp, and Kupp is doing good. That's what I think about for that.
I really forgot about Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. Kupp's their number 1. Yeah. And you know how Robert Woods just sometimes does like sick? Mm-hmm. Because teams are very focused on Kupp. Exactly. And they're game planned for Kupp, meaning that I believe that he might be able to have a breakout season this year. He's improving. He's young. I see him being –
that's just kind of like a textbook move. I mean, I just don't think you can kind of say, oh, yeah, Curtis Samuel is going to have a breakout season. I mean, maybe they will be double-teaming more, but I don't think that Curtis Samuel's skill set has the ability to, like, out-duel a one-on-one cornerback.
And I think to back up Michael's point – teams consistently double-teamed Hopkins last year, which was really frustrating. If you have
what other receivers do they have?
Will Fuller, he didn't
Kenny
break out at
Stills.
all. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, Fuller was also injured a lot last year. He was in and out of
games. He was injured a lot, but when he wasn't injured, he wasn't utilized to.
He's a little bit different. Like I see
to the same token.
What you're saying, like as a whole, but. Will Fuller's more like a deep threat, like a 1 catch for 60 yards and a touchdown a game type guy. Like,
more than
one thing I do want to say is, and I want to get on this more versatile quarterback talk.
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater.
He's not that versatile. He's overrated in that department.
I think he's quite versatile. Teddy Bridgewater can run, and Teddy Bridgewater can pass. Teddy Bridgewater can move his feet. He can move his feet. He's fast enough to be able to.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, you brought up that point last time.
Brady does for survival.
Yeah, dude. Teddy B. No, he cannot run.
Teddy B. Teddy B. I
would compare him in feet skill to, like, I don't know, Wilson?
I'm not. I was Wilson.
Wilson's the greatest scramblers in the NFL.
Wilson was in my head. Wilson, I'm not saying he's to the level of Wilson, but I think he's in that general
He's
department.
comparable because Wilson doesn't
He's not-
he can scramble.
Teddy Bridgewater is not a runner like Lamar, but I do think, but he's not a pocket passer like Rodgers or Brady.
Agreed. All right.
You know what I mean? I think he's a little bit of a hybrid in that sense. So I want to start. He was a 5-0 starter with the Saints.
Yep.
That shows promise. I think that shows he's proven that he can lead a football team.
Okay.
They also use like a core of the playbook. They have very conservative and have one of the easiest schedules in the world in that span.
And I was going to talk about that. I don't think it matters.
Now you have to play in, I don't know what the division is, it NFC East, NFC West?
South.
You have to play in the NFC South. You're playing Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and
That's gonna be a slept-on hard division this year.
It's gonna be a hard division.
That's gonna
It's
be the
gonna be a
hardest
hard division.
in the NFL, and it's gonna give Teddy Bridgewater a nightmare. Every single time he's gotta travel down to Tampa Bay or travel to the Superdome and have to beat the veteran, his former quarterback, Drew Brees. I think that's, dude.
I think you're forgetting one key element to this Panthers offense. One of the best running backs in the league, Christian McCaffrey.
And that's not going to change, but look what he did last year with Kyle Allen. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is a huge bump up from him.
I think it's a bump up. I think it's a bump up.
Me too.
I think it's a serious bump
Two
up.
of their leaders. They lost Luke Kuechly and Greg Olsen, two of their old veteran leaders. Now their oldest guy on the team is, I don't know.
Is it
Okay, you can't what they're trying to do in Carolina is the opposite of what's his face Gruden tried to do in Oakland, which was take a bunch of veteran guys with egos and put them all together and hopefully
What? You keep on saying about
they're trying
Antonio Brown.
to build from the bottom with young guys, so they can't. Yes, they don't have older leaders, and the fact that they don't have those leaders anymore,
But
they
Neil,
have.
Neil, you keep on saying these older ego guys. What guys, except for Antonio Brown for the Raiders, did Gruden try to bring in? Because none come to mind.
Just AB. Just AB.
He brought in a bunch of guys, and I can't think of
I misspoke.
Because I don't think Gruden was trying to do that at all, and that's obviously old news, so we don't need to talk about that. But I think that Matt Rule, I don't think he's not bringing in any veterans, and that's the thing that's really concerning to me. I'm not a Panthers fan, obviously, but as someone who supports them because I like what they do, I think that they need to bring in veterans if they want to have any chance of beating the Saints and the Buccaneers. Yes, dude.
Maybe so, but it's not. I don't think it's what they're trying to do. I think they're just trying to develop a younger team.
also?
And yes, you need a veteran in there occasionally, but I don't.
So when you lose
I don't know. I don't see them.
corner pieces, when you lose two
Also-
corner pieces in Kuechly and Olsen, that does a lot to the locker room.
Hold on. Teddy
I would agree.
Bridgewater is no rookie.
He's
This is-
26 or something.
Dude, I'm just saying, dude. This is year 5 for him. He's
How
not
old
like
is
a rookie. I'm not sure how old he is.
27, maybe 28.
This is his 5th year in the NFL. This is year 5 for him.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that it's not. And also, veterans
27.
are important, dude. But when you have key pieces like Christian McCaffrey, who needs veteran? You know what I mean? Like, it's Christian McCaffrey.
Because it's more than just what they do on the field. It's what they do in the locker room and how they can be like a
Yeah.
leader. That's
And then
Okay,
That's why the Patriots were so good last year because they had a lot of veterans on
I
there.
agree.
McCourty. That's why they like Matthew Slater a lot because he's a
He's a leader.
on special teams, but he's also a leader. You got Edelman.
You want me to?
Brady. You got these big leaders, which are really necessary for a team. And if you're building a team on a bunch of young guys,
You want me to be honest?
beneficial.
I think Teddy Bridgewater can be that leader.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
gonna leave it at that.
Michael,
hop
go
in.
for it.
All right. So I got my sleeper, the New York Giants. I'll wait. I'll give it 5 seconds.
Wow.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
I
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I hate the Giants. I hate everything about the Giants. I hate everything they stand for. I hate all the New York teams. I hate not having 2 Super Bowls because of Eli Manning. I hate all of it. Okay? But wow, do I love this team. So this may take me a while to fully tell you why I love this team so much. I want to first start with the schedules they had last year and the schedule they have this year. The Giants were 4-12 last year. Not good. They also had an awful offensive line. Like I said before, they had no leaders. They were very slow. They had no speed, and they had no secondary. The winner of the division last year was the Eagles at 9-7.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing anything this year, figuring they made very little moves in free agency that address any of their team needs, except their flaws for the D-line. They signed back a few guys, and they signed I can't think of his name, but they signed someone. The Cowboys went 8-8, and they lost a ton of guys, so I think they might go 9-7 at best. Now, for a brutal season under Daniel Jones's belt, and a new coach in Joe Judge, who was a product of the New England Patriots system, let's see what this team can do, right? The Giants now have the 7th easiest schedule in the NFL this year. So I want to go back to what I said before about their team needs. They don't have any O-line, no secondary. They needed speed. They lack leadership, right? They signed Cameron Fleming to buff up the O-line. They signed Blake Martinez, who was the number 6 ranked linebacker in the NFL last year. They picked up Leonard Williams, who was an extremely solid pickup. They became, and then these guys became big leaders on defense. They signed Levine Toilolo, who, isn't like the greatest tight end in the world, but is added insurance for that position, figuring how outside of Evan Ingram, I can't think of any tight ends they have. They signed James Bradbury, who had a breakout season last year with the Panthers, and truly is buffing up their secondary except for Janoris Jenkins. And in true expatriate coach fashion, Joe Judge signed Nate Ebner, who was a 6 special teams guy. And you may not have even recognized, some of the guys I named, which is okay. But the point is that the Giants are seeing what they struggled in last year and are throwing money at guys who will plug up these holes. The best part of all of this is that they haven't even reached the draft yet.
That's the part that scares me. No. The part that they're just throwing money at guys scares me.
I understand, but I guess
They've always been stupid with money.
Nah, okay, but
Gentlemen, oh my God. My family, I'm a Pats fan. My dad's whole dad's side of the family is all Giants fans, and the frustration that they felt, besides when they beat us in the Super Bowl twice, was what in God's name is Gettleman doing?
I know.
Same feeling when they drafted Daniel Jones instead of Dwayne Haskins.
I'm gonna get into.
I was in Toronto with my friend who's a Giants fan, and he was like, "What the hell is Gettleman doing?"
I know. Well, the Giants have 8 picks this year. Okay, it's not a lot, but that's including the number 4 pick of the draft. You might not know him, but they're projected to pick a guy named Isaiah Simmons, who is a linebacker and will add speed to that front 7. I also love the young core of Saquon, Evan Ingram, Darius Slayton, who had a little bit of a nice season last year, Sterling Shepard. Listen, and added in the veteran Golden Tate.
Hold on.
Solid receiver, dude.
He's
He was a number
subpar.
I also
you just listed very
Barkley and Evan Ingram, along with other guys and Sterling Shepard.
I want to say
Golden Tate.
I want to say very reasonably that all those young guys that you listed are good. I'm not going to debate that. But you just said because your argument to me was that they won't be good because they don't have a veteran leading them, and you just threw out the name Golden Tate.
He's like 32.
And that's the game changer. No,
I never said. I want you to go back in the video and see where I said that's a game changer because I never did.
I didn't say that you're saying
that. I just added in that piece of Golden Tate being a veteran.
But your entire argument for me,
veterans on that team.
Your entire argument for me was that my argument was invalid and that they're not going to do well because they don't have any veterans.
I was arguing Neil on that, saying that you just have to build a team on young stars or young players. Not even stars, young players. I think that with the loss of Olsen and Kuechly, it's 2 big losses.
This New York Giants team is being built on young players.
And they're getting older guys as well. They signed guys through free agency that have been around.
Good point. Ebner.
Yes, Ebner. He's a guy who's been around. He was in the Army, for God's sake. He was in the military. Maybe not Army. I'm not sure.
And God bless him. But
here. Okay, Pat, to address your problem of maybe the lack of weapons, okay, Let's look at the wide receiver class.
Not the lack of weapons. I'm not telling you about the lack of weapons. I'm talking about your argument that was saying that a team can't be good if building on young guys. This entire team that you say is going to be good is being built on younger guys to a team.
With other people.
Not
It's
entirely.
not just the young guys.
Not entirely.
It's not
And my
just the
argument-
young guys, it's the other people that are there. How about Janoris Jenkins? He's a captain on defense. I mean, you have to add in the other people on this team, not just him. Nate Solder's been around for a while. They might cut him, but he's still been there.
Don't get me going with Solder. I hate that guy.
No. But the point is, he's been there. He's been in the locker room for a while. He knows.
You who's been there? You who's been there?
I said earlier,
Brett
it's
Favre.
But Pat, but here's the thing.
Patriots signed Brett Favre. They're gonna be terrible.
He knows what being in the NFL is like. A lot of these young guys coming into this Panther system might not know what being in the NFL is like because they haven't been here before. Guys like Luke Kuechly and Greg Olsen have been there, and they know what it's like. But now with their departures, it's a lot different when you're building a team around a bunch of young people. All right, you know what? No. Here's my point. Ready? You have a family of 4. Okay, you have a mom and a dad and 2 kids, right? They can be raised pretty fine. Let's say it's a family of 4-year-olds. Are they going to be raised okay? No, because they have no experience. They don't know.
That's a little different. That's totally different.
That's an awful.
That's
totally different.
No, it's the same thing. None of them know.
No. That's totally different.
It's not different. No, it's not.
All right, what else you got?
The wide receiver class. It is loaded this year. You got a lot of guys. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins out of Clemson.
Yep.
A lot of young guys, obviously college, being brought up who are going to be really good guys. I'm thinking, why I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go out and use their 2nd or 3rd round pick on a big receiver like N'Keal Harry for the Patriots last year that could be a red zone threat for Daniel Jones, the young guy. So I'm not going to lie. Daniel Jones, like I just said, does worry me a little bit. But I think that with the right O-line, the right coaching and weapons, he can most definitely be a solid quarterback that leads this team to the playoffs. My prediction is this team finishes as a top 10 in pass rush and top 10 in run defense. This team is going to the playoffs. I promise.
You guarantee it?
Guarantee it. Come back to my words right now.
Wow. It is. All right. April the 3rd at 6:53 p.m. Michael has said the Giants are going to the playoffs.
They're going to the playoffs.
Wow. They're going to beat Dak, Zeke, Amari Cooper.
Dak can't win alone. Let's say Amari Cooper or Zeke goes injured because it's inevitable that star players get injured once in a while. Zeke missed a few games last year, so did Amari Cooper. And whatchamacallit? And Dak, he shit the bed when he had no one to throw to and no one to hand the ball off to.
All right.
It's over. They made no moves. They lost guys on defense. They lost Jason Witten, who is a huge leader in the locker room. Very big veteran. Right?
Terrible commentator. Awful. So glad he's returning to football and staying out of the press booth.
Who else do they have to go through? The 8-8 Cowboys, the 9-7 Eagles, who lost some pieces.
Honestly, I think with the right pieces, anyone in that division can make a push because they're all so evenly crappy.
Okay, but if the Eagles and the Cowboys got worse and the Giants can get considerably better.
You know what? I see your point. I see your point.
If they don't win the division
because they have
the wild card. This is a 7-team playoff this year for each side. This is different from the 6 team of last year.
They could do it.
I'm not being like, okay, I did say I guarantee it. But still, I wouldn't be surprised if they got there.
Okay.
All right. Very nice.
I think we've just about.
I think so.
Boys.
Great third pod.
I'm Neil.
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
And we'll see you on Wednesday?
Yeah.
See you on Wednesday. Yeah. All right, boys.